Okay, this is my prediction to the up-and-coming super card between Ryan Garcia and Rolando Romero. Now, this is definitely a super card. Main fact being there's 3 main event fighters on this card, and I think it's really interesting that they were all pretty much in the same weight class. It's very rare in America anyway that there's a card like this, 3 main event fighters on the same card. It's been happening quite a bit in Saudi Arabia with some of those cards with Turkey Al Sheikh, but it's good to see in America that that type of thing is happening as well. My predictions for the 3-man fights, the main event obviously being Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero or Rolando Romero, Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barbosa, and the third one, Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. 3 good fights. I think all 3 fights will be exciting. There's no mismatches, but at the end of the day, I think I have a good idea of who will win all 3 fights. Now, the main event, Garcia versus Romero. I'll get on that one last, but obviously this card is set up for Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney too. Unfinished business. There's a lot of anticipation for that fight. Ryan Garcia is definitely a star in the sport, and his win over Devin Haney is very disputed. Devin Haney has a lot to prove because he definitely lost a lot of reputation. Not just, how he lost, but how everything that's happened after the loss. And technically, yes, Ryan Garcia, he was on PEDs, but I don't think that's how, the general consensus is that he beat Haney. Even though Haney has his 0, he definitely needs to redeem himself in the eyes of the public. Now, first fight I'll give my prediction for is Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barbosa. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Arnold Barbosa. I did see highlights of his fight against Ramirez. He's undefeated, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's a major, massive puncher, but I just don't think that he's on the level of some of the best guys in the world. Teofimo Lopez, even though he is hot and cold with his form, I think that at his best, he is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters. I think that Teofimo Lopez, there are a few, he does have weaknesses in the ring, and the 2 styles that can beat him, in my opinion, is number 1, a fighter that's really active, that throws punches in bunches, because he can definitely be outworked. His punch output isn't a lot. He picks his punches very well, but I don't think he was 100% in the Kambosos fight, but that's pretty much how Kambosos won. He just pretty much outworked him, throwed more punches. Another way I see Teofimo losing, and how he struggled with his previous opponents, is a fighter that has a good jab. I think he can be outboxed at times because in some fights I think he goes for the knockout too much. I think that he's a very emotional fighter. So sometimes, I forget which fight it was, maybe Sandor Martin or Ortiz. I forget which one it was, but when he can't land, he gets frustrated. He can be outboxed, he can be outworked, but I think you have to be a certain caliber fighter to do that. Arnold Barbosa, he's undefeated. He's had some good wins on his resume, but if I'm being honest, who I'm putting my money on in this fight, I think Teofimo is going to win handedly. I think the style of Barbosa, of what I saw anyway, I didn't see a whole lot of his fights, I'll be honest, but he doesn't really have the best head movement. I think that Teofimo Lopez, he's going to throw a lot of uppercuts in his fight. I don't think Barbosa is going to be on his feet too much. I think he's going to come to fight. I think there's a bit of bad blood in this one as well. So I think that Teofimo will catch him a lot with uppercuts. Possibly stop him late, but I see him edging out the decision. Now, the second fight to the main event, Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Devin Haney, he has a lot to prove. He just got beat up pretty bad over 12 rounds, lost his undefeated aura. A lot of questions about Haney. Even if Garcia was on PEDs, Haney, he got hit a lot. It wasn't his best performance. I think that for Haney, I don't think he's going to try and outbox Ramirez by his feet. I think that he's going to stand and trade with Ramirez. Ramirez is the type of guy where he's a warrior, He's going to come forward, throw a lot of punches. I don't think he's going to be hard to find in this fight, Ramirez. So it's pretty much on Haney how he wants to deal with this fight. He can use his feet and try and outbox Ramirez, or he can stand right there, use a shoulder roll defense in the pocket, pick his shots, counter punch. I think that he should definitely go for the stoppage in this fight. I think he needs to make a statement. I think Haney needs to make a statement in this fight. I personally don't think that, just because he has a lack of power, I don't know if he can hang with, or I don't know if he will be seen as one of the best pound for pound in the world, because in my opinion, I think guys like Gervonta Davis, even though he didn't have the best performance in his last fight, but certain guys, if you don't have power, you can't really keep off a killer, in my opinion. So Haney is obviously got elite boxing skills, but I think that he really needs to step to Ramirez and prove a point. And he needs to touch him up, because when he rematches Ryan Garcia, he needs to hurt Garcia. He needs to hurt Ryan Garcia in the rematch. Otherwise, it's going to be a repeat. Drugs or no drugs, if you can't hurt someone, they're just going to walk straight through you, no respect. And he needs to make Garcia respect him. I think Ramirez is the perfect opponent for Devin Haney to test his skills and really try and make it a dogfight, because Ramirez ain't going nowhere, and Haney, he needs to prove himself. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I'm going to tip Devin Haney for a decision, but I think that he's going to throw a lot of punches in this fight. I think he's going to stand right there in the pocket and trade. I just don't know if he has the power to knock out Ramirez. And Ramirez is obviously a very tough fighter. Now, the main event for this fight, Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. Romero, I think when he was younger, not when he was younger, I think he's still pretty young, but a few years ago, I think he was a very dangerous fighter before the Gervonta Davis fight. But the thing is with Romero, and I like punches. I'm a puncher myself. I favor punches. Everyone has a puncher's chance in boxing. Obviously, Romero's skills, he doesn't have footwork really. He doesn't really have defense. And I think after the Davis fight, sometimes if a fighter doesn't have the best defense and they spar a lot, and if they've had knockouts in the ring, their punch resistance drops. And it happens in boxing all the time. I think his punch resistance is gone from what I saw in the Isaac Cruz fight, and I thought that he should have performed a lot better in that fight, but I think his punch resistance is shot. I think that when he was, you don't lose your power even if your punch resistance is gone. I think he still has power in his right and left, but he doesn't set up his shots. Romero is the type of fighter where if you can take a punch, you can take his punch. Anyone can be knocked out, but if you have a great chin, how you hurt guys like that is from punches that don't see. I don't know if Romero can hit Garcia with a punch he doesn't see. When Gervonta Davis dropped Ryan Garcia in the second round, he didn't see that punch. Rolly Romero, if he hits Garcia clean, I don't think he's going to stop Garcia. I think Garcia can take a punch, maybe not an accumulation of punches. I haven't talked about what Garcia can do well, because honestly, I think that as soon as Garcia hits Romero with a left hook, Isaac Cruz buckled Romero with the first left hook that he connected with. I think if Ryan Garcia throws his left hook on Romero, and it can be in the first round, he's probably the quickest fighter in the sport, not in terms of timing, but in terms of just pure speed. I think he's the quickest. I think that he's going to hit Romero. As soon as he hits him, I think that he's going to stop him. I think that for this one, it's a really easy pick. If Romero makes it past 6 rounds, I'll be surprised. I think he's a good personality. I wouldn't be disappointed if he pulled off the miracle, but I think that Ryan Garcia will fight Devin Haney next, and that will be a great fight I'll be looking forward to. So yeah, there's my prediction on the supercard: Garcia Romero, Haney Ramirez, and Teofimo Lopez Barbosa.